Well, if Matthew's got to go by... So, Matthew, you've got to be there for 6:45.
7:45.
7:45.
Sorry, 7:45.
Yeah, but I can get an Uber from you. I'll take my...
We'll just get the tram. It'll cost you £2.
But I'll see what I like for time. I don't want to rush us.
No, that's fine, mate. It's 10:02 now, so we'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up before then, so you've got enough time.
It's fine if it's going in that, and I can just dip out late. It's no.
I've been taking notes for fucking ages about this, by the way. Like, I've got so many notes.
For what?
Just about, like, in the season that one of the notes is part of me and Greg just love watching United lose. Sometimes, maybe.
I do. I was saying to someone, I actually think I hate United more than I love Liverpool. That's like the thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
Oh, we're not going to make this a hate United thing, is it? It's 3 against 1, so.
I know, but no, that's We'll
This
dodge
one
that
was
stuff.
definitely steaming. It must have been after like a Rangers Thursday night in the pub Europa League game or something. Doesn't matter who you are, it's Ibrox. Fuck you, you can beat us. That's what I put as a note.
Let's keep that.
I've got here.
Notes,
I'm worried
mate,
about myself in fantasy. Heads in too many different directions.
What are you talking about?
You must have been hammered when you done that.
Yeah.
I
The
don't know.
red flags on the pod.
Yeah. Trent, the best right back ever in Prem? Question mark, mate. There's so many fucking notes down here, but
Right, let's get going.
let's get going on it then.
Yeah.
We'll
Sugo, whatever.
Let's just start with last night. Obviously, England got beat by Spain. Spain are the European champions, rightly deserved. I think best team in the tournament. So let's just start with overall thoughts on the final, and at the same time we can just talk about the tournament. I don't know who wants to kick us off with that, but
Go on, Simpson. You can go.
I thought the tournament was a bit underwhelming
okay.
as a whole. I thought there wasn't very many, like, apart from Spain. I thought they were good
Okay.
throughout the tournament. I thought they were really good to watch. I thought that Germany were good. That would have been a good final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for me.
I
The
was a
final,
bit gutted that was the quarters.
Same.
The rest of the tournament was just moments from teams, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there weren't really good watches. There was a lot of
Yeah.
boring games, and then you just had moments of brilliance from individuals.
Mm.
I was thinking about that today. I can't even remember because I was thinking about doing this podcast, and I was like, I can barely remember any games that were like standout games, like Spain, Germany, and then was it
Like,
Turkey, Austria?
Aye,
Was a
the
decent game.
them two. I was going to say, like, they were quite good because you're underdogs. You didn't really know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
They went at teams that were quite good to watch. Switzerland as well were a bit surprising, but
What?
like your big dogs like France, England, which we'll touch on in a
Correct.
bit, they're just Portugal. They're all a bit boring, eh?
Yeah.
Well, do you not like? I was thinking about this recently quite a bit as well, especially when the tournament was on and that. Do you not think like? Do you think like football's kind of gone that way a wee bit though? Do you not think like?
What way?
Just like I think teams just are so obsessed with like just controlling the game, and like you have lesser teams that will try and now come out and try like dominate like it's just so like possession like focused, and I think there's an aspect that the game's got to a point where I personally think when you watch it, it's like all teams now will invert their fullbacks, they won't play with width. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many little things like that where it's like, I just feel like the control aspect is just so like emphasised these days, and all managers that now are involved are just trying to do it.
I think especially tournament football, right, and then even more so international as well, because
Yeah.
I think folk are just so scared to lose.
Yeah.
Like in that
I mean,
moment,
every game's a
like,
final, isn't it? Pretty much. And,
Well, yeah.
like, you just need to get, you had to literally get like 2 points. Did anyone finish on 2 points to get out of the group?
It was four. It was
No,
four.
yeah.
There.
Was it
four,
Four
was
was
it?
the best third. Yeah. It was
But you can understand, see, like the last game of the group stage,
Yeah.
where teams are already through in that, you're going
Yeah.
to get a few boring
Yeah.
games. But
Yeah.
even in knockouts, where it's like, it's win or lose, you're out.
Yeah.
No one's really going for it, eh?
Yeah.
I quite liked it personally.
Did you?
I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, but I did quite like it. I thought that you had a lot of folk like it was interesting just to see like you made the point, Ali, like the bigger teams were actually the bigger teams, right? But the bigger nations were bar Spain and Germany were probably actually the most boring to watch.
Yeah.
Like Austria was better to watch than Portugal. France were horrendous. I thought
I think
to
something-
watch.
I think that's sometimes
Yes.
because of the hype, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone like sits and goes, "Oh, France are playing tonight," like World Cup winners, and then obviously got to the next World Cup final, so you expect something
Yeah.
big, and then they weren't very good.
This a good point might be though is like if you look at I don't know what your thoughts were on Scotland in the tournament though, right? It's like
Jeezy peeps.
it's like now at this point it's like would you rather us have just gone for it though?
Yeah,
And
I think you
actually,
would.
do you feel like that?
Course.
Like because when
Yeah.
I was out there, I personally felt like that. I was like, I think it's appalling in terms of how we set up here with the squad we've got and stuff, and just how far behind we were in all aspects of that. Like, is like, do you think that would you, even if let's just say we got beat like 4-0 or something in every game, would you, if we went for it in all those games, do you think we would have been sitting here like, you know what, at least like, we went for it, and like there would have been a bit more positive vibes around it?
I think if you got beat 4-0 in every game, you'd still be like, well, that's shit.
Shite.
But I do get your point. I think, now, not to make excuses for Scotland, but playing Germany in the first game like just killed us a wee bit, right? And we didn't. Don't get me wrong, we didn't exactly try and come out and play, but I think that kind of set the scene a little bit for how we were then going to play. And then, to be fair, the Switzerland game, the first half an hour was a little bit better, went 1-0 up and whatnot. But then it just fell back into that same kind of like path, I guess. And then obviously the Hungary game was boring for the first 85 minutes, and then both teams realised, fuck, we might as well just try and score a goal.
A draw does no one any good to you.
See, like going back to the Germany game though, right? One thing that I thought, I don't know, I mean, obviously I'm pretty fucking reeking when I watched it and that, but like, I'm amazed that like we go into that game and you literally just like sit off Tony Cruz and just let him like dictate the whole, like, see someone that good, like, I don't get my head around how they didn't even like work on that like in training and just work on like trying to stop him playing. But they like, I just can't get my head around that.
But that's what I mean. That's where it was really shit for like watching Scotland and like, and by the way, I know they made the final and they only got beat by a goal last night late on, but like to an extent England as well. It was like there's no emphasis to like go and really get the ball back. Like and again like in the game last night, in the first 2 minutes Spain had a goal kick and like England high press, and I was like, they haven't done that all tournament, but it looked good. I was like, okay, and I actually thought they did all right yesterday. But your point there about Scotland, I was just like, you can do both. Do you not think you can have both? Like, you don't need to just like sit off and let Cruz have a load of the ball. There's moments you're going to do that because you're not going to have the ball. But you can have a little bit of a plan where it's like, this is what we will do, like you said, for example, to try and stop that. And it felt like Scotland especially were just one way, really, weren't they?
Yeah. I think it just goes back to like, if this is why I think international football does tend to get, that's why I think the tournament wasn't as good and maybe hasn't been previously, is like you just need to get results in that set. Like if you're the manager, like you just need to do anything you can. Like it's a one-off game. Like it must be so tempting to actually be like, let's just sit in and play off set pieces and counter-attack and just try to get a result here. But it must be so tempting in that sense. I get it, but
I think Gary, I was watching that. What's their podcast called? The Rest is Football or something.
Yeah.
With Mika Richardson, I was watching that before I came down here. But I thought Lineker made a good point. He was like, I think Spain winning shows that the impetus now, like teams that are successful, and it's the same in the Premier League as well, obviously. The teams that are going to win things now, I think, are all going to be the teams that are on the front foot. Like, I don't think you gain much from being defensive.
See, as a player though, like you don't, unless you're a certain type of player, like I don't know a lot of players that actually want to really just sit in. You know what I mean?
No.
Like when you look at Spain and you look at like you get the best out of like Yamal, Nico Williams and that, because you're playing to their strength and like they're playing with so much confidence because you're literally just told go and do what you can do. Whereas like Foden and the likes of Saka and that, Bellingham, they're not told that at all. Like they're not, so they can't play to their strength. So I think that's one of the biggest issues that they had personally.
Yeah, England. Yeah, so what? Yeah, they were bad. What did you think about? I thought they were better last night.
Nah, so. I thought Spain outclassed them. Like,
yeah, don't get me wrong.
They had a 5-10 minute spell when Palmer scored.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to get another one.
And then within about after that 5-10 minutes, they just reverted back to
how they were,
like holding on to a 1-1 draw. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's all they know the way. Like
I think I've seen a thing today. Like Harry Kane in his 2 finals in the last 2 Euros has had 1 touch inside the opposition box, which like. Harry Kane's literally probably the most clinical striker in the world, potentially.
What do you think about him playing starting every game? Because after the first couple, you just knew he wasn't right.
Yeah.
Something was off for him. And then I was texting in the chat and I was calling for Watkins to start from early on. But then I don't know, can you actually not start your record goal scorer with his record in that?
You take penalties regardless, right?
It's hard to not, isn't it?
Then every time Watkins came on, is a big difference straight away, stretching defences.
Yeah.
I thought any time Watkins, Foden, and even when Gordon played about his 6 minutes, I thought that's when England actually looked the best.
Yeah.
In any game, when Palmer came on and when Watkins came on, because he just had a bit more energy. Like Kane was definitely carrying something. Or
is everyone saying that? Was he not injured a few games?
Had a back injury, no?
He didn't finish the Bayern season.
Yeah. He had a
If
back
he's
injury.
injured though, surely he's not even like playing that many minutes in those games. I think he was maybe just shy.
Just shite. Also, tactically too, you had like, I know we're kind of bouncing around, but you had like Kane most of the tournament dropping in, which is what he's done for a while. But then there was no one to like. They kept. Do you know what was annoying me, which I totally disagreed with, right? Do you know when they kept saying that they had no one for like Kane or like Trent, right, to play balls in behind, and they had Saka. For me, Saka's not a running behind winger.
He
Like
likes the
Saka
ball
wants
to
the ball at
feet,
his feet to like stand you up and go inside. Like he doesn't really want to go by. Like Yamal wants to go inside, but like just use him as an example. Like Yamal wants to run at you with pace. You know what I think? Where Saka likes to stand you up and beat you like that. So they kept saying, "Oh, but like keep Saka on the right, keep Saka on the right." And I thought Saka was great in the semi-final, and he showed up a little bit again last night too. He's a great player, but like. They had Kane dropping in to try and do that, but like Foden or Bellingham were playing off the left. They want to tuck in, and Saka wants it to his feet, and it was like, and it was the same with Scotland. It was like nothing's really matching here with what we're trying to do from both managers. It was shite.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I would love to see what their preparation in that is, like going into the tournament and in the tournament and stuff, because, like, I would love to know how much of it is generally just like defensive principles and stuff like that. Like I would love to see what it really was that they were doing in that, and because I just think, I don't know.
Do you think, like, I was thinking this as well, watching the rest is football, and obviously like doing coaching too. Do you not think that, like, again, if you look at Spain, they won it. Take City, let's take all the top teams in the world that have won things this year. Argentina won the Copa America last night as well. Like, I think the confusion is they do work on defensive stuff, but they're working on defensive stuff playing in the other team's half. Like, they're still working to be defensive in training, but it's like but the first thing is we have the ball when we lose the ball, right? That's the mentality. Whereas, like, and this, I don't think Scotland are trying to get the ball down and like play, and neither do I think England are. That's not really England's DNA either. But like, you can do like you can.
Players to do it though. Do you know what I think?
What's that?
Got the players to do it.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Scotland don't.
Eddie Howe would be great for them.
Do you think?
I think Eddie Howe would be good for them.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he'd be alright for them.
I think he'd be good for them.
He
But
would
It's the
surely-
first time England can do that sort of system. Mate, like before, it's probably the most technical England team there's
Yeah.
been in our lifetime, and they'd be scary good with like a technical
Yeah.
manager. Eh?
I mean, if you look at Spain though, like how good, like that Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, right? They're just built for
Who does he play for? Sorry,
PSG.
PSG.
Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah.
He was class man to watch. He just glided about the place. Eh?
Yeah. So like, if you look at the two of them, because we were talking about that last night, when they get the ball down and start playing, as long as I know Rodri, to be fair, got subbed off at halftime injured, but like in all their games, as long as those two were both on the pitch, they could have kept it all night just between the two of them. I don't think you were getting that close to them.
both
which-
have size to them as well, eh?
Yeah, and then you've
Yeah.
obviously. So I think like Spain, to be fair, like don't get me wrong, dictate and like we're the best team in the tournament by a mile, but like they've got that structure there of like a solid back 4 and then two unbelievably good holding midfielders that it kind of gives the other 4 or 5 attackers the right to just roam and do what they want.
Did you see the
How
Spain man?
Spain's system is though, that 4-3-3.
Yeah,
I think England
could do
the
that.
exact same
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
players they've
because
got.
even Morata was dropping in like what they were trying to get Kane to do. Really.
Yeah.
Southgate was defensive from the get go. Do you not think they'll play him with
Yeah.
like two holding midfielders and like, you know what I mean, from the get go and all this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's so like you can see it's just so pragmatic from the start. Eh? Like you can just see it. It's just the focus is just being compact and like basically just not conceding.
even the game that Bellingham
like-
scored the overhead kick, they had two holding midfielders on until like the 80th minute.
Yeah, they only went attacking in the games where they went when they went down in the games.
Aye.
Like it was like what I don't understand like what the crack is of that.
Yeah, the only time that they looked any good was when they were 1-0 down and they had to do something. Eh?
Everything was so like if you think of those players and like there were some folks saying oh they're tired, like a lot of them like the Prem guys, like it's a hard league. It's like I'm not buying that. Everything was so it was like not that what they were doing was wrong, but slow. Like it was slow.
Tactically, like looking back at it, I think honestly, like Southgate and his coaching team are miles off it.
Yeah. Do you
Absolute-
think Steve Clarke's the same?
Absolute
Trying to
miles
put-
off it.
I feel like they're both. I know
100%, mate.
different. Do you think Steve Clarke's the same? You wanting Clarke out?
Mate, I was almost standing in Cologne, fucking that second game with fucking Clark outside, mate.
Yeah.
Don't know how it would have went down, but
We're like, see, for us with Clarke, then lads, like, what do we think? Because 2 back-to-back Euros, which we've never, like, well, obviously we hadn't experienced it until the Euros COVID, right? We hadn't had Scotland and then we had it again. So it's nice to be at the tournament, and I think similar with England at a different level, they need to step to win something. But do we think it's time that, don't take anything away from what he's done, because that's a great achievement. I know it's easier now with the teams getting bigger, but is it now time for Scotland to say thanks? But now we want to try and go be like, just bet, not even necessarily qualify from the group stage on the next one, but like have more impetus about us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you do it.
We should be though, shouldn't
It's a
we?
bit harsh at the same time, right?
Like, we
Well,
should be though, shouldn't we, with the squad and stuff? Do you know what I think?
I think Scotland have got the players to be a bit better, a bit more attacking.
Mhm.
I think Steve Clarke's taken as far as he can go, really.
I do as well. Yeah, sorry, carry on. Now. Yeah.
I mean, you're right. The Switzerland result was quite good. They played quite well in that 1-1. And then obviously, you've seen Switzerland, they hammered Italy. That could have been at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And they were a ball here away of beating England.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that result was quite good. But the manner that we turned up against Germany in the Hungary game,
Yeah, it's
just
disappointing.
disappointing, eh?
That,
And then going into the Euros as well, the friendly results.
Oh, they were
The
terrible.
momentum
man.
had gone, hadn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Like, we'd peaked, like, last year, eh?
Yeah.
A year or a year
Yeah,
and a
we
half
beat
ago.
Spain. Buzzing.
Could do it.
I went over to Amsterdam for the friendly against Holland, and that first half, we were fucking class.
Oh yeah, you were
Yeah.
there because
We
you
were
were FaceTime this absolute
We were
blitz.
Yeah.
fucking brilliant, man. Like,
Yeah.
we can't, like...
What was that? Was that a
We got-
4-0? 4-0
yeah, we got
game or
cut
That
something?
was,
did
when we got,
4-0.
that was when we got. It was in the first. What was the score in the first half? I think it was actually. Was it maybe 0-0 in the first half actually?
We did.
Oh no, wait, I think
really
they maybe
well.
scored in like the 45th minute. But honestly, they were like we pretty much like we must have had the majority of the ball, created loads of chances. It's when was it Shanklin with a header in like the first
Yeah.
half
Yeah,
or something.
he
Like, we
could've
had loads of
scored.
chances and
You
stuff.
had the bet on him.
We were honestly class, like honestly really good. So we can do and it is there. But see from that point onwards on those friendlies into the lead up, something was so off and you could totally tell.
That-
It just wasn't clicking at all.
And that's what I wonder how much of that's down to like actually them being in the tournament and the pressure of just like I know it's not right, but let's just try and not lose.
Maybe.
But then obviously you get scudded by Germany.
Yeah.
it
So
doesn't
then,
really
do we
work,
need?
but-
If we've made it now twice, and we're saying that we're never probably, but like without it being bigger, we're like kind of the best of the rest a little bit, aren't we? We're not the best of the rest because we're fucking shite in Euros. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like we're in good contention to then make it again, right? With how the more teams.
Oh, you'd hope that we'd make it
Yeah.
again.
So do you think just maybe it's time for, like you said there, Greg, of like, right, we kind of maybe came into it just not to lose. Is it maybe time to just like say, okay, that's fine, but do we then have someone come in with like a fresher idea, a maybe more positive idea to try and get a little something in and let that go for a couple of tournaments?
I think potentially, but then obviously there's people out there, right? But like, who would you like to see come in?
It's a great
I've
question.
not thought that far ahead yet.
Like,
Still need to get rid of Steve
Would
Clarke.
you want a Scottish manager, or are you open to?
I think we go all out, get a Spanish bloke or something.
Arteta if he fancies it.
Yeah.
I use bothered if like it was.
The thing is, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like it's quite weird having a different international manager
It is, yeah.
come to your team,
Yeah.
because they don't. I mean, obviously they're coaching, they're doing their job, they're coaching the team, they want to win the trophies, but they're not like they don't get the DNA of like.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you
Like
see that
imagine
clip of Jimmy
Pep singing the
Floyd?
Flower of Scotland and that. It's
Yeah.
like, it just wouldn't
Yeah.
happen.
Well,
you
who
know
was
what I mean?
the?
Have we had Scottish managers? I'm guessing throughout our time. Is there anyone that's
Bertie Vokes
Vokes.
was
Yeah,
absolutely
Christ.
horrendous.
Yeah.
who?
Yeah. You remember that.
That was like the worst Scotland team in like ever, mate.
Really?
Aye,
Did
they
you
were-
see that
they were
video
bad.
of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank because he's on the England coaching staff, and then when they beat Holland, like he starts celebrating, and then he realizes like, oh, "Fuck, I'm
Really?
Dutch." Yeah.
I've not seen that. I need to see that.
I saw him on the
Stuff
bench.
like that, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him on the bench. I was like, what the fuck did he come
Or
there?
he-
But yeah, you're right. Alan.
Or Roberto Martinez as well, absolutely burning out the Portuguese national anthem.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird.
It is a bit weird.
You need to remember as well. I think throughout Clark's time, I mean, I'd love to know who we've added to that squad in that time. We must have added some really decent players in that time that Clark's been there. No.
What do
Oh,
you
yeah.
mean? Like just guys that have come into the team? you mean?
Yeah, like I mean, from when he first started until like that end tournament, like there must be some decent players that now are involved in the Scotland squad and stuff.
But I think there's just better Scottish like talent in general.
Yeah. Sorry, kind of a little off topic, but it popped into my head. What did you think about not playing Billy Gilmore in that first game?
Awful.
Terrible.
Terrible, eh?
He was our best player in the next two games.
Like, I was fucking raging here.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that. Like, Jenny, that was a mentality of like, who did we play instead? Was it McTominay and?
We played.
Big Christie and stuff,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
maybe. But that set the tone
Like,
from the
There
outside
was
about being
McGinn,
defensive.
McTominay,
McGregor.
McGregor and Christie, but they had played McTominay in front of like, the back four,
Yeah.
sitting,
Yeah.
and there was a bomb scare in there.
See things like that. It was like that's when you just tell like things just weren't right and things weren't clicking, and like not playing him in that first game, I was like, you fucking joking me. And then watching the game, and then every time we get it, we couldn't string 2 passes together. We're so poor at like transitioning forward, and it was like, mate, it's literally Billy Gilmore's best strength.
And that's the other thing as well. Like you can sit and like play defensive, but you still need an out ball. But we were watching it, and there's times where like Shea Adams is in sitting next to McTominay,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, even if you do get the ball, like you can't even just punt up the pitch and be like, right, Shea, go and chase that, because he's standing next to the fucking holding midfielder.
If you weren't going to play Shankland, I said to Greg, I was like, you may as well just play McGinn up there. Like, at least he can hold the ball up. Like he'll hold the ball for you, and like he can still do the running part.
Too loyal to the players, eh?
Yeah.
Which
Clarke
I think
and
was it.
Southgate and Southgate, they both
I was
do the
about to
same
say,
ball.
Southgate's the same,
it
eh?
must be tough the way, like,
I think it is, but like if I was a
you need to be
England
brutal-
fan,
you need
I'd
to
be
brutal
raging
away.
that Cole Palmer didn't play more.
Yeah.
I personally would play Palmer over Saka, but
I
So
thought
would I.
Palmer should have played over Saka, even
personally,
performance.
I said that at the very start of the tournament,
Yeah.
but I would play him. I think he's honestly like different level. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, just going back to the Gilmore situation. I think like when you look at it, it's like that pretty much sums it up as like you'd rather just play like a bigger, stronger midfielder, you know, off the ball slightly better in a game like that instead of playing like your best player. It's just like I think that mentality for me alone is just like fucking hell. Like, are we still still at that point? Like you're like, there's not a chance like Spain and that would have done that.
Nah, they went
Like Gavi was playing every single game, like no matter what, obviously until he got injured in that. Like against the bigger teams, they're not really gonna drop him, are they? Because they're like a little like lighter in midfield.
That's
like,
what I mean. That's the mentality.
But he got
mentality.
you know, get man of the match against England in the 0-0 draw in the World Cup.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he did actually.
In a
Yeah.
probably similar
Yeah, in the last
Yeah.
Euros.
sort of game. England and Germany are going to have more of the ball.
Yeah.
But Gilmore turned up in that game, and
Yes, because
Yeah.
but
I
it's
don't know why they just didn't go with him again.
but that's where it's saying like when you do get the ball, you know you've got someone that has the quality to try and
keep
make
it.
something happen for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we just didn't
It's-
have that, it was fucking shite. What
Well-
was the census out there, Matthew? What was the thoughts? Like after the third game,
Oh, after the third game, I've never seen so many grown men cry in my life, mate. It was
having to go back to work. That's
it
why.
was fucking mental, man.
Yeah.
By the way, not a single, however many fans there were, by the way, way more than 200,000 in terms of what they said, not a single Scotland fan would have went out that night. Like, not a single Scotland fan, honestly. Like, that's how bad it was.
Really?
Like, everyone on the train's just going back, like, silent, like, no one speaking to each other. People
Really?
still
Well,
crying.
after the Germany game.
After
Hungary.
the
Hungry.
Hungary game.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, it was absolutely, like, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it was disappointing to say the least, wasn't it? But
Yeah, it was shite. Especially when you had that little bit of hope at the end, where like if we scored, then we could have got through, right? Would we have got through if we'd won that one though? I don't even know. 'Cause Hungary never made it.
yeah, we'd had 4 points. It would have been close, but I think our goal difference was so shit it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, because Hungary got 4, but they didn't make it through.
Yeah, and I know folk will hate this, and I don't really mean it, but like, as like a Scottish person, you are just like happy to be there. Like,
Yeah.
you're just happy for the holiday and that. It's just
Nah,
like I
no,
know that's
if-
not the mentality you want, but like so many folk would have just been like, "This is class. I'm just going to Germany and getting pissed for 10
Yeah.
days."
When you've not been for that long.
I think that novelty will wear off now that we've had like 2 tournaments. And now
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
but one of
push
them's
on
been a
and
home
get-
tournament,
I
where it doesn't
think so
count.
too.
Where like,
I
Yeah.
think so too.
We're not just turning up to be like, this is class. We've made it.
I don't know. I reckon when it comes round to the next one, so many folk would just be like, "I'm just buzzing to get on the flight and go."
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah, like I just think
26.
Oof,
Yeah.
chaos, that'll
USA,
be
Mexico,
like,
Canada.
Go to
baby.
Mexico.
we should be like, I think we're at the point where we should be competing though, like with the team and that we've got.
Just a
like,
chance to be like third best place or even sneak into a second, I think.
as in terms of the group and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it depends on the group and that.
Of course
but
it does, yeah.
I think like I think we're more than capable of competing in that now. Like if you look at the other teams that have done alright, like in this Euros and that, like your Austria's. Obviously they've got
Switzerland,
decent squads and that.
who
But when you
are
look
that
at our squad, like we can't be that far off.
Slovenia
you know?
got through, eh? Did they get through?
Slovakia.
Yeah. Was it
Yeah,
Slovakia, was
Slovenia or
it?
Slovakia.
I think both of
Chris.
them maybe did get through.
Yeah.
Well, Scotland are the same level as them, eh?
Do you not think we do
Yeah.
struggle up top though?
Well, I was about
Or
to say.
Georgia.
Do you
Yeah.
want to know what's funny
Georgia.
actually? So I was it on the. It was on the plane there. I was sitting next to some. I flew by myself. I was sitting some boy from Aberdeen, and he ended up watching all the. He was like, right, we're having a couple of cans out to get on the plane. He was like, right, let's get the qualifying goals and all the goals that we've scored, like the past whatever up, and we'll watch it. So we sat there and watched this like 5-minute highlight reel of all the goals and that, right? And I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, Lyndon Dykes was involved in so much of that.
He was.
Like you watch it and you're like, holy shit! Like he's literally involved in like a fuck ton of it.
Missed his pressing. And
I
that,
think
he's
we
running off
missed
the ball.
him. I think we actually kind of underappreciated him a little bit, and I think
in the way
think
that Clarke plays as well.
I think we
Yeah.
missed him. Like I think maybe
His off the ball work's really good.
it's really good, isn't it? I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of people give him credit for that as well.
It's like Morata from Spain.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
thinks Morata is awful because he's not the best. Well, he misses a lot of chances that he should score.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
off the
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
work is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what it's like though when you're playing like with a striker that's like that though. When someone can press from the front like that, it makes it like a lot easier. I thought he
Yeah.
was decent last night. I thought he'd done loads of like see off the ball Morata. I thought he was
It was
fucking.
class.
He was
Oh, yeah,
so
it's
good.
good,
Like the way he closes angles and that, and he's just. I'd love to know how much he runs. By the way,
Must run
Yeah.
miles.
is he? He's pushing on, is it not?
And that sets the tone for the rest of the team.
Oh,
The rest of the
100%.
team can get up higher.
Kane
Yeah.
doesn't really. Kane doesn't.
Kane
really
doesn't
give
do
you
that.
doesn't give you that.
No.
Watkins would run for
Yeah.
you all day. He's fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the difference with stuff like that. But I think we missed Dykes massively. I think that kind of no one really spoke about it much. But I mean, Shanklin's and
Dykes
Adams had a bit
and
of a.
Hickey.
Yeah,
The
Hickey
right,
as
the
well,
right
sorry.
back situation.
Oh mate, that was. What did you think about that? It was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was, yeah.
I couldn't believe Ralston kept getting his game.
Mate.
He did
Like,
keep
what's he
going though.
doing?
He did keep going. Ralston kept going himself.
And they kept coming down the left side every team.
Yeah.
It's like,
Every
fuck
team just
off.
targeted us.
I don't know who you'd play, McCrory maybe, or
I think he should have at least given him after that.
Forrest at wing back.
Yeah,
I don't know,
someone
there
said about
wasn't many
Forrest,
options, was
but-
there?
But again,
know.
similar to what we're saying about Southgate, I'd put them both in the same boat as that. They never really tried to change it.
No.
They never either way for either. They never really tried to do something a little different to mix it up. So
I just think when you're in that situation, you're an international manager, you sit down and you go through it and you're like, right, this is like our principles, this is what we're doing. And I reckon in your head, you're like, no matter what, I'm not going to change you. I'm going to stick to my
course.
guns. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I know like I've stuck to my guns and I've gone with it.
Yeah.
Because we've worked on this for so long type thing. So I can see where they're coming from with that. But I mean, surely you need to adapt at the same time though as well. You know what I mean?
Wait.
Like,
Which, to be fair, not to completely change it away from like the years in international football, but the year that we had under Klopp, which was horrendous, Klopp tried to stay with his principles for ages, and
Yeah.
and like Van Dijk was injured and whatnot, and then Fabinho was just horrendous, and it just wasn't working. But to be fair, Klopp just stuck with that's what he knows and
Yeah.
that's what he's going to do,
Well,
and didn't change it.
I know we're talking about Liverpool here, but perfect example is the game where we beat Barcelona.
4-0, yeah.
And we had, I mean, pretty much everyone. I mean, not everyone missing, but like, you had no Salah, no
Yeah.
Firmino, no like
Yeah.
Shaqiri was playing in that, and
Yeah.
like I remember him saying he was like, yeah, like we literally just, like the concept was exact same, like
Yeah, we're still
it was
doing
the
the
exact same
idea,
thing.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
whatever we've been doing all year with that starting 11, the players that are coming in, like we're doing the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
we never changed it, but it's
Do you
a good
not think-
example maybe of.
Do you not think though? And we'll move on to the club stuff to finish up because you've got to go, Matthew. But do you not think? And I was thinking, I put this down in my some of my notes today soberly. But I put that. Do you not think there's a disconnect between Southgate, the team, and the fans? Like I think the fans almost expect, like with the team that they have, I think they expect to play like a Spain, whether they should or they shouldn't. I then think the players must be thinking a little bit like, this isn't how I play week in, week out for my club because most of them play for top teams. And then you've got the manager who has his idea, which is obviously a bit more defensive. And I think for this tournament, not to say again to a similar level with Scotland, I felt that a little bit with the Scotland fans. It was like, look, we know we've got here and we get it, but like we want a little bit more. And I think England were the same, like we want a little bit more. I don't think everyone was in line.
I think so, in particular with like
Yeah.
England, if you look at because we obviously give them a hard time. It's the pundits that we give the hard time of like the expectations that they set, right? But if you go through that team and you were to list all the players, if you were a fan, you'd be like, yeah, well, we should win a tournament.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's where, as you say, the disconnect maybe with like how Southgate then sets the team up because
100%.
and if you look at all the players in that team, you're Foden, Saka's, Bellingham,
You do see how
Rice.
they play at club level.
Like they'll all
Yeah.
they all dictate the ball, keep
Yep.
the ball at club level, and
Yep.
then they go to England and sit back. Like even like John Stones actually becomes a centre half, where let's be honest, he's not a centre half for City, is he?
No,
Like
yeah.
so,
Yeah,
like I think that's where the
yeah.
disconnect comes with that.
I think that's the whole issue with it. Is
Yeah.
Southgate's principles, his style of play, and I just don't think the players got behind.
Doesn't
it
suit
at
the
all.
players or what the fans are thinking.
No, the
too.
players look a bit frustrated. Like when
course
they're
they
on
do,
the
like,
park
yeah.
and when they come off the park, they look a bit like.
Ah, you
We
Why
wanna
we
do-
not going?
yeah.
Aye, yeah.
He,
why we
he
not
didn't instill confidence in them throughout the whole tournament. Like
No.
not a single player there, you could tell they were total short of confidence.
going? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like total short.
Like-
You can tell when you watch a player in the short. Like you could just totally tell.
like Foden, for example, is like obviously one player of the year, right, in the Prem, being the best player in the league, and then 0 goals, 0 assists, and got subbed off in like the 80th minute in
He
most
got
games.
subbed off a
By the
lot
way,
in the most games, didn't
Playing
he?
him off the left is fucking criminal
Yeah,
in
he should
itself.
play with
But then he was playing Bellingham on the whole, and then in the final last night, he tried to switch it and put Bellingham on the left. That's what I mean. Like, they both didn't fit
Yeah,
together.
Nah.
It's funny that they don't really fit
But then
together, do they?
not when Kane's up front, because Kane wants to go in there as well.
Exactly, yeah.
In the new
Yeah.
formation, I get it. Like that personally, if I would play what they finished with that like back five and whatever. I would think, but that would probably be my formation. But obviously a little more like attacking and
Out of
stuff.
the ones that Southgate's playing now, I mean, I'd just set up a 4-3-3 like Spain would do.
Yeah.
But out of the ones, because that 5 with the wing backs, 5-3-2,
3-2. Yeah.
that work out.
Yeah, 5-3-2, yeah.
That was probably the best they played, when they did
Yeah.
switch to that.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
we reverted back to the 4-2-3-1 in the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah.
Like with Luke Shaw coming in, you thought he'd play the wide left wing back to give them
Actually
that
thought Luke
balance
Shaw did
high
quite
out
well.
wide.
I thought they were alright for playing like one. Did he play any other game? Did he come on at all? At any
Came on.
He came on in the semi-final.
Right,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't think Southgate knows how to play a 4-3-3, like in terms of like
Nah.
everything that comes. I
It's not
genuinely
even,
don't
like,
think I don't think he knows.
Could
Mate.
be here forever, but I don't even really think it's shape though. I think it's more what is your mentality to how you want your team to play. Whether that's a 5-3-2 or 4-3-3, you can play 5-3-2 and still be
Yeah.
dominant on the ball and press a team high, right? But we could debate it.
He's
for
miles.
fucking
He's
ages.
miles off it.
Yeah,
Like,
we could.
tactically, he's miles
yeah.
off it, and I think we'll find out whatever like job he goes to get like after this. Which,
Man
do you think he's gonna
Hopefully
leave?
not.
Do you think he leaves?
I don't think I don't know, but I don't think any decent club in the Prem
Nah.
takes him.
Nah, no way.
You know what's really interesting though, is that
Alright.
obviously with his coaching career and that, like, it's quite interesting to look at. He's not actually really done that much at like a
Did he
super
get
high
to
level.
the
has
Aye,
he?
Middlesbrough.
UEFA Cup final with Middlesbrough?
Yeah, Middlesbrough was that he was a UEFA Cup final manager then? I can't
That's a
remember.
shout,
Is that-
but I'd
did
not
it-
It's a
known
good
that.
shout though, like player manager or something. Yeah, and then he's on the England. It's a different. And they're obviously talking about like they're all talking today about like Klopp and Pep and that coming in. And I'm just like, just don't see those guys taking on a national job because of the difference of it. But also if they do, like me and Greg were saying before we left, like why would Klopp? And we were saying that earlier about like someone else like being in charge of Scotland. Like why would Klopp do England? You do Germany. Or Pep would do Spain. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not do your country? If you're
Yeah,
going to do it, you
100%,
do your
yeah.
country. So
I think so.
but let's say we could debate about that for ages. I do want to touch a little bit on to finish off with like the club stuff. But I think all in agreement, Spain the best team. Well, they won
Yeah.
every single game. They won
The best team in the tournament won.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, and Rodri player of the tournament. I'd agree with that. I think he's by far the best holding midfielder in the world.
he's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
he's,
absolutely
he's
incredible.
that joker. You could watch him play all day,
Yeah,
man.
he's fucking
I know,
class.
hockey
He cruises
Dread.
it like.
But finishing off just with thoughts on, I don't want to do like predictions or anything like that. We'll do another one before the season starts and we'll do all that stuff. And I don't really want to talk too much on what happened, but just thoughts on maybe what we think might happen next season, because I think it's an interesting season in the Prem because Liverpool have lost Klopp, so you've got Arne Slot, so there's huge pressure on him obviously right from the get-go, let's be honest, right? To carry that on, which is a very difficult job to do. I really do think, and it sounds like this is going to be Pep's last season at City. I think he's done after this. And I thought that when Klopp said he was going to go, I think Pep won't be too far behind him. I mean, obviously, Arteta's at Arsenal, Ten Hag staying at United.
Go on.
You've got the teams Leicester are coming up, but are going to have a point deduction to start with due to you've got all the financial fair play shit that's going on. I don't know, boys. What are your thoughts? I think we'll start with Ali. We'll start with Ali on Ten Hag getting his new deal after winning the FA Cup.
United treble.
99 all over again.
I'm concerned.
Did you want him? Because like the FA, see for me,
It's
right?
swayed a
Swayed you.
lot. Yeah.
I think England and Southgate are the same as Man United. I think they don't really know where to turn. It's not you're getting to a final. Do you let him go? Do you not? And I feel like United were the same with Ten Hag, and like winning the FA Cup gave him that like little step to that. Okay, we'll keep him.
Yeah, he was done if he didn't win the FA Cup.
Yeah, he
Absolutely
was.
done.
I was,
Like
yeah.
everyone hated him. We were 8th in the league, toiling.
He's battered
Um,
City that day, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a good game.
played well. That definitely swayed a lot of people's minds. I was in the. I chopped and changed all season. I was in and out, in and out.
It's tough, though, because like, if he was that close to going, I don't really see how one result, and it might work out, right? Who knows? But I don't
think,
see how one result can completely change
I
that.
know.
I think the managers that are out there, he's probably as good as
I'd agree
the
with
ones
that,
that they
yeah.
sounded out, the ones that they went and tried
Aye.
to look at. And it's like,
Southgate.
I'd probably just stick with Ten Hag.
I do agree with that. to be
You were a little unlucky with injuries in that last season, eh? Like,
fair. Yeah.
like with your centre halves and that, and like
Left backs.
I did. It was a little. There was a really tough season for you, as long as anything.
Is it beneficial to just stick with the guy because there's no one else to go for, or are you better taking a risk?
Well,
Because I
nah.
don't see.
But he's won 2 trophies.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird. It's what's that thing? An oxymoron. Like, I don't know where to go with it.
So I think they've looked at it and have gone, with the injuries and stuff that's happened and what they ended up with and how they've done. I think they've gone, we're going to stick with him. What's your thoughts on the whole? Is it Van Nistelrooy and
Yeah, coming in. Yeah, you got Van Nistelrooy in.
Yeah, as like an assistant coach.
someone else as
Yeah.
well? Is it?
Rune or something.
It's
Yeah.
quite interesting though, because Van Nistelrooy was
He was PSV manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PSV manager, then going
Yeah.
to assistant job.
He was
Did they
doing
not-
alright at PSV actually.
Did they
Yeah.
not play?
Rangers.
Played Rangers, I pumped them.
Yeah.
Did they not?
Oh,
They were good.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah, I think,
that's
I, think,
in-
I think that's really good. I
You
think it's a good
aye?
appointment. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you must have so much more knowledge and experience there by bringing someone like him in. Also, someone that knows the club and stuff as well.
Yeah,
But
fair.
They've
think
kept
it's-
on Stuart McLaren and that, but he's just going to be a first team coach.
I think there's a fair bit of change that needs to go on there.
Steve McLaren. What's his
Yeah,
name?
Steve McLaren. Yeah.
That's it.
There's a fair bit of change that needs to go on there, and with all the financial fair play shit that's now clearly a factor, it's hard to shift people now. Like, how are you going to shift folk that are on? I mean, I was in Anfield Rap and they were talking. Apparently, but this might not be fact, but this is on the Anfield Rap they're saying this. But apparently, like for example, Nico Williams will be available. They reckon roughly about 40 mil, because Bilbao are like, they can't demand too much, right? Like it's
40
Bilbao.
mil?
About 40-50 mil they reckon, right?
Oh,
For
the.
Nico Williams, the Spanish boy, right?
I thought you were
But the
talking
point they
about
were
the
making,
fullback.
no, sorry, not a
Welsh
Forest boy,
boy.
no. But they reckon, but apparently Bilbao don't pay. They're very big in bringing boys through the system, so they don't really pay for players. So what they do is they give their players huge wages. Apparently he's already on 300 grand a week at Bilbao. But my point I'm trying to make is, for United, how do you shift people off when like clubs are like, we can't fucking afford it anymore? Because back in the day, Everton or someone would go, well, we'll take fucking Maguire for 50 and we'll pay him fucking 120 grand a week. And now they can't actually do it. So like, maybe more so not just United, but like a lot of clubs that probably want to move some folk on and try and progress. It's going to be hard, like.
I don't know if it's a stupid question or not, but is it to do with the salary, with like what they're paying them and stuff, or is it to do with the upfront fee,
I
which
think it's just both.
It's all,
which
it's
you
like,
pay, so it's everything?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how.
It's like what you
I need to
make,
still
it's like
do
what
it.
you can't like spend more than you make for like simplicity's sake.
It's going to be
not
interesting.
like 100. Is it not? There's a number. Is it not?
I don't know if there's a cap. I don't know the ins
They were
and outs of
talking
it.
about doing like,
Yeah.
I can't even remember, 6 times your earnings or something. I
Yeah.
can't even remember.
Don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens now. Obviously, now the Euros is finished and the transfer market will kind of like get
Kick
going
on.
of how much folk, because there's no way like folk are going to keep signing boys for 100 million. Well, you wouldn't think it's going to keep happening, but you never know.
Yeah, like
But-
Does it not?
Villa have just signed Nana for 50 from Everton.
Have they?
Yeah.
I don't know if 50 million. 50 million for
To
Onana
replace
from
Douglas Luiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were basically saying Villa got that for Douglas Luiz, and then they've just gone and spent it again on Onana, right? It's like 1 in 1 out for the same amount of money. But like it's 50. It's hard to tell where the market's going to go. I don't know if that's like,
I mean, Onana's not worth 50 million. I don't mind Onana, but he's not
Yeah.
worth 50 million.
it's a weird one. Don't know where the market's going to go with it.
So, I don't know. Obviously, with Pep still being there, it's just going to be so hard for any team to. Arsenal have got close, right? But still, Pep at the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me if City went and won that again.
I think they do it again as
Two
well.
horse race, Arsenal and City again, or
Yeah, I think Liverpool will
Yeah.
fall off.
I think
but
Liverpool will be lucky to get
I think
fourth.
I think yous as a fan base will have a bit of
Reality check.
understanding and
Yeah.
patience with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going into the season and expecting them
Yeah.
to be just like Klopp, and
Yeah.
and then if he's not getting results, you're wanting him out. I think you will give him like a good
yeah,
2-3
I
years
agree.
to
Yeah.
establish something.
That's because
Yeah,
they're used to
probably
being
the-
shite.
yeah. It probably depends how bad it is as well, though, right?
Yeah.
Because Man United just expected success straight away, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I think some fans still expect success. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
you're
got
still in
Fergie
that
anymore.
like that time of like it's kind of gone on long enough, but it's still there. But
yeah,
man, Liverpool's going to be really interesting. I think. I said to Matthew a while ago, I got Brendan Rodgers-y vibes off his first interview.
really.
But I take that back, and then I've then since watched some more stuff, and then I've watched like the videos that they post, and I'm actually a little bit more comfortable with it. I don't honestly, mate, and I don't expect him to come in and be like Klopp. The way he's talking and that, he's not like Klopp in terms of personality and character. honestly, mate, let's just see how your team plays for me, and let's get results. And I think, honestly, personally, I think with that squad, I think you should be getting top 4 if you're going to be decent. You're going to come in. Maybe let you off for the first season, not, but I think you should be getting top 4 with that team for Liverpool.
It's so competitive now, though. Like as you say, like you've got
Yeah.
Ten Hag at, like where did United finish? Like 7th or whatnot. But
Yeah.
they're obviously going to be looking at getting one of those spots. Chelsea actually finished the season pretty well, right? Poch leaving was quite a surprise probably, but they'll be looking at getting one of those slots.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got City and
Newcastle,
Arsenal who are
Spurs,
shootings,
Villa. Yeah.
and then Spurs and Villa as well. So you're talking like, what's that, 7 or 8 teams going for those 4 spots. Like at the end of the day, three or 4 have to miss out, right? And
Yeah.
like as I say, with his first season coming in, like Ten Hag maybe a little bit more settled.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many Dutch managers there are these days.
No,
Kicking
mate.
about.
Battle of the 2 bold Dutchies in Liverpool, Manchester. Villa will be
Geniuses.
yeah. Villa will be interesting in the Champions League because as much as they haven't experienced it, they have a manager that has a lot, and I think
Yeah.
they could be quite dangerous.
It's
I
class
like.
in Europe as well.
Yeah. He is really good in Europe, so I think they could be that kind of like, like I say, maybe not just they haven't experienced it. I think they'll be okay. I think Spurs will only get better under Ange. I actually think I'm not going to do predictions, but
Forgot about Spurs.
what's that?
I forgot about them.
I think Spurs will get into top 4. I think if we're talking about the FFP stuff, Newcastle look good, but the FFP stuff's like they can't just like fucking roll it like City and Chelsea did. Like they can't just steamroll ahead of
Who,
everyone.
Newcastle?
Yeah, they actually have to build
Wait,
it.
not seen. See, the owners not they're not selling the club.
It's like the people that they've got on the board are selling their shares.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Like
Okay.
the Sheikh or whatever is just still own the club.
So they must be looking at it and being like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Can't he fucking
Yeah.
just romp to the top of the league title? It's right. I think the rules are right, but the rules are right because
They are rigged for the bigger teams though. They're rigged for your Liverpools, like now Cities, Uniteds.
well,
Especially
is
if it comes
now.
down
Need
to
be
what you
certain.
can
I
earn.
don't fully understand.
Well, if it comes down to what you can earn, right, and like they're all like massive like worldwide brands, so they're going to be able to spend more money, right?
Do you know who's actually really knowledgeable about this? Dylan
Big
Sybil
fan.
knows
Dylan
fucking
Sybil,
loads
didn't it?
about the whole like
Need to get him on to talk about it.
What
Like,
about all the
proper fucking rules about it.
How's his knees?
the deals
can edit
the
that
deals
away.
for all the clubs that are sort of on the brink of
Yeah.
like the kind of the thing like
Yeah.
a loophole, eh?
Like Newcastle forcing
spending
it.
tons on the youth players,
Mhm.
and then the other club buying in return. They're just like,
Yeah. Do you know as well? I'm just trying to rattle things off in my head before I have to wrap up. I think Everton have been in a lot of trouble. They've sold Onana. I think out of their assets, you have Calvert. Like they're fucked. Obviously, they need to sell people, right? They've got 50 for Onana, Pickford, Braithwaite, Calvert-Lewin. Looks like Calvert-Lewin's on his last year of his contract, so they don't sell him now.
Newcastle wouldn't win, no?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently Newcastle for Calvert-Lewin, but random that, to be honest, for me. Pickford and Braithwaite are probably the 2 that they don't want to lose, but like, I think Everton could... It's been like fucking 3 seasons.
they
in
need
a
to
row,
sell Braithwaite. I know they don't want to lose them, but
Yeah, they're
That's
going to
only
have to
'cause
sell
we
him.
like to get him.
Yeah, they're going to have to sell him.
Yeah.
has he
potentially.
come through? Is he come through the youth team?
I'm actually not too sure. I've
No, I think
idea.
they did sign him from somewhere, but for cheap.
Yeah.
Did they?
One of
Like
those you
6
get him when he's
million or
like we did with Joe Gomez, like you get him young, but like
Yeah.
or Elliot or something, he comes through. But everyone in a struggle. Be interesting to see Chelsea with the Leicester manager obviously in charge now. I think Spurs will be a lot better under Ange. I think he's had a year of understanding the Prem and those players, and he'll get a couple of folk in. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. But I don't think the market's going to be that mad because I just don't think everyone's obviously like we're going to get fucking punished if we fuck it. So like they don't want to do it. It's going to be a bit mental.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think that'll do us. I think City romp it next year. To be honest, Premier League wise, I actually think Celtic will beat Rangers to the SPL. Real Madrid, obviously Champions League champions. Mbappe could be repeating it again. That'll be interesting to see Mbappe.
That Real
finishes.
Madrid team is going to be an
Yeah,
absolute
it's a-
disgrace.
Yeah.
I don't know how they all fit in play.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that.
Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny Jr.,
Yeah.
Rodrigo.
And that Endrick looks ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It does look ridiculous.
Frightening.
Hearts in Europa League again. Are they automatically in?
Nah, they got a playoff round,
Playoff. That'll be
and
good.
then they're guaranteed European football till January.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if they lose that, they're in the conference.
They got the conference anyway, right?
And
So-
then-
UJ.
And then all the European competitions are changing to that Swiss format.
yeah. So the Champions League will be interesting.
So
Actually,
it's all
with
just
that.
one big league.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
good
yeah.
for the team like Hearts because we're guaranteed like 8 or 10 European games regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I'm with you, man. I'm
Good
with
money.
you. I think I'm just having a wee look here to see if I missed anything. I think I tried to say it earlier. I don't know if I got to say it, but I heard on Talksport today. I had no idea. The Spain manager won the Euros with the U19s, then won the Euros with the U21s, and has now just then got this job and now won the Euros with the first team. Yeah, so he won 1921s first team 3 in a row.
Southgate not do a similar path.
He might have, actually with the England team. Yeah, he might.
Southgate was definitely the 21 manager. Did they win it? Did they win?
I don't think
They won. They
won
something. They did win
Like
something.
Elliot and Saka in that one when they were like in that
I
team.
don't think they're the women's, not.
Or the 17. Or the 17s won. England youth teams have won. Definitely.
Yeah, they have won something. They won something. We should probably know that. But I think that'll do us, boys. Does anyone have anything else they want to say? I did have down who kind of won Player of the Year and all that last season, and to have a chat about it. But we'll get into that into the one when we do actually do our predictions. And that probably give a mention to Leverkusen for going unbeaten last year, and the
class to watch.
Yeah, everything good to watch too. Didn't change their idea though in the final.
In Dublin
I don't think I was going in that.
I had a good Stephen debate about that in Dublin when we were there. Booked the tickets to go see Liverpool. Didn't even fucking make it. Yeah, it'll be good. Is that it? Matthew can get to his dinner at Ragu with Jamie and Jordan. Ragu, is it?
I don't know.
Right. So, boys, cheers for doing that, man.
No worries.
We'll do another one before the season starts. Sweet. Done.
Right, he's getting to go, lads.
Cheers, lads. Let's get tram.